Hi, I'm Mike Winkler, and I'm the Principal Managing Broker for Coldwell Banker Bain in Issaquah, Washington.
And I'm E.J. Bolds. I'm the Principal Managing Broker for Coldwell Banker Bain on Mercer Island, Washington.
EJ, in my endless effort to link our current video post to the last video post, our last one was about change, and this one's about negotiating inspections. So I suppose it's about negotiating the changes that occurred in the home and how you want to work with them.
Good attempt. Worthy attempt.
Worthy attempt, okay.
Virtually all residential sales in the state of Washington have a structural inspection and may have other types of inspections. And those inspections are generally what we call non-invasive. In other words, you're not poking a hole in the wall to do the inspection, although if you had the seller's permission, of course you could. And in an earlier blog post, we talked about the whole process of the inspection, of the timelines, and the form that you use. Today we're really talking about the strategies and tactics that somebody might use as they negotiate through that inspection.
That's right. In today's world, using a licensed home inspector, a buyer will often get a voluminous report, sometimes even seeming a bit onerous.
Mm-hmm.
And so the real question is, what should they ask the seller to repair? So for example, is it a health and safety issue? If the electrical panel is dated and bad, there are many out there that have been recalled that never have been replaced, that are still in homes. And so if you have one of those, should that be replaced? Well, the answer is probably yes.
Yeah.
But if it's a minor issue, what should you do then?
Well, for cosmetic issues, which might be needing paint, maybe a carpet cleaning, maybe some light updating on the landscaping, then I think that really has to be looked at in terms of the context of the whole deal. So if we've had a pretty easy negotiation so far, maybe we'd ask for everything. But let's say we've had a tough negotiation early on, arriving at the price, and maybe we've got some bruised feelings because we negotiated really hard to get our price. Maybe we don't want to ask for anything because we don't want to antagonize the seller, which brings us to the other point, and that, does it really matter, etiquette, trying to be nice in negotiations? Is there any place for that in today's world, Mike?
So you're asking is, does it have to be fair?
Right.
Well, there's the saying that no one promised you fair. However, I do believe that there is a proper etiquette, and it's about dealing in good faith. And so if you have value in what you're receiving already based on the price that you're paying, you have to weigh that out. In other words, in today's market in particular, there are people who've lost their jobs, who are short selling the home, and it seems like that's an opportunity to even get a better price and to gouge. Mm-hmm. And it's not that people are bad. It's just that everybody's looking for a bargain. Well,
right.
Perhaps getting that home at the price that you already got it was the bargain. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't negotiate hard, but there is an element where the negotiation becomes more personal in context than about the home. And so a good real estate broker will help to avoid allowing that to become an obstacle to the sale. At the end of the day, serving the clients, both the seller and the buyer, is about putting the transaction together. And so value and faith really become paramount in that equation.
And I think what you're also saying is that the good agent won't let the negotiations polarize, and that's part about the etiquette, if you will, is that if we treat everybody with dignity and respect, we can still negotiate hard, but we don't create a polarization, which then causes the transaction to fail, where everybody loses. Another thing that we hear about, Mike, is let's say there are a number of issues wrong with the house. Doesn't it make sense, rather than asking the seller to fix this laundry list of items, isn't it better just to say, give us a bunch of cash, give us a credit of cash, and we'll fix it later on? Isn't that a strategy that works?
Probably not. The fact is, if it's a health and safety issue, it needs to be repaired prior to closing, and the lender is more likely to call that out during the appraisal process. And so that's one factor. The other factor is, let's just say that your agent isn't the best. And so, you're convinced that getting a price reduction, because oftentimes people think that, well, I'll just get a price reduction. That it's going to cost me about $10,000 to repair the roof, and so I'll just get a price reduction. Well, that doesn't put cash in your pocket. So again, it's about making sure that you negotiate correctly and you get repaired what should be repaired, that's health and safety, and you get the fairness and the price, if you will, that matches the value. Does that make sense?
It really does, and it is about, as one of our attorneys who will be a guest on here at some point, Mark Shedler, talks about getting the benefit of the bargain.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's what you're talking about. I'm E.J. Bowles.
I'm Mike Winkler. Till next time.